Knights Academy. Training's in session.
Venturing forth to find uh Zyrit's, is that his name? Right. Yeah, Zyrit's just looking at what's on the back of your thing. Yeah, the mom. To introduce yourselves as his friends. You're starting to realize how young of a dragon he is now that you are being asked to do these things. And you guys have set forth to find him, or find her. You have arrived in um, you've arrived in Megiddo after a boat ride and then a trip in a carriage. Some of the finest attire you've seen for this. First class the whole way. Almost as nice as the High Tide, which you are still not allowed back in yet.
What was that?
That was the inn that you broke the window in and dove out of. And
thanks to somebody having a whole bunch of fun.
And Gruck being accused of rape, murder, and wearing somebody's face.
Wrongfully accused, I would like to point out, at least this time.
At least this time. This time at least. Although they're like, the first question they ask you is, have you ever murdered anyone? And you're like, yes, of course.
Like, well, yeah? I mean,
I feel like if you're willing to commit murder, lying about it shouldn't be, like, that big of a deal. Have you ever committed murder? No.
I have committed murder. I'm not looking to commit murder anymore. There's a difference. So, like,
maybe
I don't want to lie about my, like, past discrepancies. I gotta own that stuff. It makes me who I am and, shows me the right path.
It's true.
So, basically what you're saying is you weren't falsely accused.
No, they just don't actually have the evidence of the murders that I committed, so, there's nothing they can do about it.
I'm just saying, like, you just claimed you were falsely accused of murdering, and then admitted to murder.
Of that murder.
This
time.
All I told the lady was that you were a killer.
Well, it was relayed incorrectly from her to them to me.
Well, also there were a few embellishments that were probably not.
Well, I mean, depending on how accurate they, translated it, one of them was.
All right. All the way, that was a month ago, ish, in time. They're still looking for the person that shattered the window. We haven't found them yet.
Bridge.
So, they still want their money. But yes, you have arrived in Megiddo. You have the option. I gave you the description coming into town of. It is a walled town. You come up, approaching the city on the front face. The walls to your left. Entering the town, there is many boards pointing out various things. The central part of it is mostly the political area. There is only one tower that is sitting in the middle with the giant flashing sign Madrad written with arcane symbols. That is the only town, or that's the only shop, inn, or anything in this section of the town. So there are several portals leading to different areas, including the one you guys are looking for, which was, it's just called Megiddo Southeast.
Is the dock crowded?
You guys are actually past the dock, but if you wanted to go back to that point, I can tell you it was fairly crowded, yes. It's a small town, kind of like Seaport. And there is actually, about half the ships in the port are military. They have a much stronger military force present here than they do in Seaport.
Are there merchants that have like vendor stalls on the docks?
There's a few, yes.
Okay. Anything stand out as far as their wares, or is it basic like clothes and some food. And...
Actually, it's mostly really nice looking clothing, art type objects, statues, jewelry. Privia is known for its artistry of anything. So they make a lot of very fine artwork and other forms of that. Statues, jewelry, paintings, ceramics, all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So,
That's all I was curious about.
they're also known for taking anything to an art form. They even refer to war as an art form. So,
What about masturbation?
definitely an art form. And
I feel like that really depends on who's doing it.
well, it should be an art form if it's not. Anything
I've
that's that is something that should be taken for it to make sure that it is done properly.
I've turned
Not
it
something that
into
should
a
be rushed.
science.
So, but that's neither here nor there on a lot of it. There's a lot of nuances to this country, but basically, everybody is always striving for perfection here on whatever they do. So,
Is this where the elves live?
there is some elves that live here. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wood elves typically come from Awen. There is a lot of moon elves, sun elves, and actually drow that live in Privia. But it's next to impossible to get to the drow society. They come up. They don't allow outsiders there. And the reason for it... actually, if somebody wants to roll a history check, they can find out, see if they know why. Otherwise, you may have to investigate that if you ever want to know.
Money shot.
It's a hard shot on this. And Vol, you'd have advantage.
I do?
You're from Privia.
Okay. This is history?
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh my ass off if the DC's like 10 and he doesn't get it.
Actually,
Make the DC 10.
actually, the DC is 18. It was a very hard DC to reach. So Saxon, you're the only one that got it. Supposedly, the Drow Society doesn't allow outsiders because they are the protectors of the gates of hell.
Which
So-
hell?
Hades.
Oh.
The underworld. Hades realm. This is basically the Greek Isles, basically. Think of that.
I know.
So,
Joking.
just an interesting little flavor there. But nobody knows where the entrance is to the Drow Society, except for Drow, or people that have been there, which is very, very few outsiders. Sworn to secrecy. It'd be the type of thing you would have to have like 2 nat 20s in a row to even have an inkling of an idea.
Oh, come on, I got a 21.
So, 21, you know it's in Privia.
That helps.
Vol's like, yeah, no. That's worth a try.
Dang.
Just start rolling insight. Just spam the hell out of it until it hits 2 nat 20s and then be like, where is it?
That's just an inkling of an idea. We lost Grook.
Alright. Until it hits 4 nat 20s.
Had to blow my nose.
Oh, okay. I was like, we lost Grook. Alright, so there is several different portals, like I said, throughout town. You guys are on the map, right? On Okay. The blue ones are portals. They're literally like Stargate portals. You just walk through them and appear on the other side.
Hence the map key in the center, right?
Yup.
Okay, just checking.
So this one right here goes to this one.
Actually, that's south. Let's see. Yes, actually, yes. That one does. because that's the south one. So, and you guys need to go to the southeast. Unless you want to go to investigate anything, any of the fortifications here, or the or anything like that before you go, or Madrads.
Don't care.
Hmm?
Let's get this done.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
We're
you,
here to say hi to somebody. Like, let's go. Let's say hi. Let's go home.
And for all intents and purposes, I'm probably not going to say a whole lot. I'll let you guys take care of the talking.
all right. So you guys head through the portal. The first thing you notice as soon as you exit the other side is it is cold. It is considerably colder than it was. Like, you guys went in, it was a balmy 70-ish, and you come out and it's probably about mid to low 30s.
It's so cold, I'm blue.
Minus 5 DKP. Alright, so you guys will come out over here. You'll have to find her shop. But you realize very quickly that you are inside a cave. Very large up front. You can see to the left down a little ways a very large opening, which, looking out it, you can see blue sky and snow.
I cast Endure Elements.
Do you have Endure Elements?
No.
So you do not cast Endure Elements.
I create Endure Elements. And then cast it.
So, there is a sign directing you. It's basically this imagery here, where the different shops are. The shop that she owns is the one up there. So you'll have to make your way up that direction.
Blah da dee da.
Won't take long.
See the wizard, the wonderful dragon wizard. I don't know.
Gruck
Never
is
mind.
froze on my screen, so you look at this.
You're just a black screen on mine.
Sweet. Everybody else is moving. Alright, so you guys will head
I
up
don't
there.
even have him frozen. He's just a black screen on mine.
It takes about 10 minutes to get up there. By the time you guys get up there, you are going to be quite cold, to the point you're shaking a bit. It is cold, and most of you are not used to cold weather.
I
Actually,
say we set this bitch on fire to warm it up.
was that in
Do you-
character or out of character?
Do you have an aversion to being paid?
What's the nice way to say this? I have an aversion to being sent on a "can you go meet my mommy" quest.
You
You could have said no.
could have.
I know.
You're like, but I
Don't
was getting.
split the party.
You're like, I'm getting paid, so
And don't split the party.
and don't
Somebody's
split
gotta
the
keep
party.
these fuckers alive.
And that's not you.
I'm sorry. In the last comment, who took out 2 5th level spellcasters?
Well, that is true. You had some mad luck.
So suck on that, bitches.
All right.
Who's captain, though?
Actually, what?
What about him taking care of 2 5th level spellcasters?
I mean, like, they escaped and
Yeah,
nobody was.
both people he took care of escaped. Yes.
I mean,
Well, now we're just arguing semantics.
yeah.
I neutralized their combat effectiveness.
I'm okay with phrasing it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys will enter her shop. It is very nice and toasty warm as soon as you enter it. You could
As-
huh?
As a dragon, does she just naturally put off that heat, or is it like heated from fireplaces and
There
other
is
sources?
2 very large fireplaces.
I was
Both
gonna
lit.
say I will give you all of the money in my purse just to walk up and like put your hand up by her nether regions to see what kind of heat is coming out of there.
Considering you guys just got that nice paycheck,
We got some money.
Just
was
be
that
like, this is
in game?
dragon.
Was that an in-game
No,
bet? Or
I'm
okay,
not
I had
saying
to,
that.
I had to ask.
He's a dragon.
I know, but it would have. It could have been very interesting.
I just want to see John's character walk up and just like
That and imagine John's character coming back to Zyra and be like, "You can call me Daddy."
just like saying female dragon, like guys, feel the heat coming off of this.
No,
Well,
Blue
maybe
Dragon.
after a
not hot.
proper tickle, you never know. I'm not exactly like have a proper understanding of the anatomy of a dragon and how certain things work, but
I played Skyrim. It works.
there's always a way to find out.
There's Dragonborn. Like somebody somewhere fucked a dragon. Apparently the DNA is compatible.
Man, I'm gonna have that song stuck in my head now.
You're welcome.
Till he has fire lips. Got on all fours and fucked some more. This is the tale of the Dragonborn. Alright, so, you guys will walk in, and she will look up. Huh. I have been expecting you. As soon as you're all in, she waves her hand and you can hear the door lock behind her, behind you guys.
How do you know who we are?
Because he's a dragon.
There's several reasons, I know. First, there's this little thing called scrying. It allows you to see people at distances. Second, I can see everything happening in this town. Nothing happens here without my knowledge. Nothing.
Alrighty then.
So, I have called for you all here because I need you all to do something for me. But first, by all means, since you're convinced that I don't know much, how about you introduce yourselves to me? Tell me something about yourself.
I'm Roll, and I'm Blue.
How about you tell me something about yourself that isn't apparent from a first glance?
A warrior.
I said not apparent from the first glance. This one's not that bright, is he? Looks over at Saxon.
No, he's not.
Robert's sitting here like,
Whatever.
understand, knowledge is a very important thing.
Again,
Intel.
you're giving away trade secrets.
Intel is my business. Oh no, I want you all to work for me. These are trade secrets, but you're going to be working for me, so it's not that big of a deal. You don't have much of a choice.
How about if I go first?
Very well, we'll give him time to think. Looks over to Gruck.
My name is Gruck Starrog, and I guess you could say that I fit the position of the moral conscience of this group. That might be fair to say.
That would be fair to say, but looking at the group, it's not too hard to extrapolate that.
Hey, fuck you!
What's that supposed to mean?
You've had to do what you had to survive. You are Blue.
Okay, you're gonna have to say who it is you're talking to.
When he said you have to do what you have to do to survive, points towards Thorn, looks at Vol. You are blue. And you can see she's not saying what she was wanting to say. You have an 8 intelligence, dude. You're role-playing it perfectly, by the way. And then looks at Saxon, and you... Well,
Cock my head.
let's just say I don't think you have much in the way of a conscience.
It's there.
I said not much in a way of. Meaning
That's
it
what-
is there, but very small. Maybe the size of a mustard seed, perhaps?
I just choose not to listen to it very often.
So when I say tell me something, I mean tell me something. Call this a character group building exercise. I need to know that I can trust you all. She looks back at Gruck.
I was born a slave.
See, now that is something most people will not actually admit. That is good information. Who would like to go next? I think we have a volunteer. She's looking at Saxon now.
Probably. And Sax is just looking at her.
Your name? And tell me something about yourself.
Saxon, and no.
You are wise enough to realize that nothing is free, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very well. Then keep that in mind. She looks at Thorn. Little man.
My parents died when I was young, and I traveled most of my life alone.
That is unfortunate. Parents being around is always beneficial to the growth of a young man. And Vol, have you thought of something?
I'm not from this earthly plane.
See, that is better. Now, as I said, information is actually my business. This shop just is something to keep me entertained. And she kind of looks over at Saxon again. And you can chime in with something at any time. And then she looks away from him, completely ignoring him at this point.
Tell her a story.
He's just trying to think of something he's okay with revealing. And he
Pretty
can't think
much,
of
yeah.
anything.
Lie to her.
Show her
I'm
your ball.
fairly certain. Okay, one, I'm fairly certain she'd be able to tell, and two, all right, hang on.
And two, he just stopped. My son is still quite young, as I'm sure you have figured out. In the grand scheme of things for dragons, he is but a toddler still. Although compared to you, I think he is actually more elder than most of you. I need somebody to keep an eye on him and report back his whereabouts, his doings with me. Because he's not being forthcoming with that information.
What has he told you so far?
He's told me of you. You 4 or 5, actually. I don't know where the 5th is.
He's cooking.
And how you helped him integrate into the society there. Past that, he has stopped communications, mostly. Saying he can do it on his own, which every young bird must fly the nest, I suppose, but I still want to know what's happening. I want you all to protect him. I will pay, of course. You guys will have a benefit of sorts if you, of your choice. I will let you choose the particular reward for keeping me informed. Which one of you is the most responsible?
Points at Grog.
Yeah, there's a decent chance that'd be me.
That's good. If Saxon said anything, she was just going to ignore him anyway. So,
Actually, Matt, can you read, or did you read it?
yes, and she will actually look at you and just nod when you say that, and go back to keep continuing to talk.
Say hello to my little friend.
First, I guess let us discuss. I have told you what I wish for you all to do: protect my son and report back his doings to me. Simple enough, and I will pay, as I said. The question is, how would you all like to be paid? I have a couple different forms of payment that could be issued for that. Just giving you gold every month if that's what you desire. I do have many people that work for me. I can send somebody to work for you. Still working for me, of course, but to serve you. I could...
How much gold are we talking?
Depends on the information. But a baseline, I'd give you each at least 100 gold a month just for maintaining, giving me the message and watching him if there's ever anything that requires more protection. Of course, I pay better for that.
Magical items.
Magic items is something that I can acquire, but that is going to require great deeds of sacrifice and actual things rather than just maintaining watch.
Okay.
Either way, though, it for contact purposes, I will either be sending a magic item with you or one of my followers. So, I would think that one of the best things you could do would be to take one of my followers as payment. His services could be quite useful in the future.
How do you presume we explain that to your son?
Be honest if you must. Be deceptive however you wish.
And how do you suppose we should tell him about this? Tell him the truth too, or?
I'm sure he is still a dragon. I'm sure he knows why I summoned you all here.
Oh, okay.
He may not be happy with the reasoning, but I am still his mother.
For what it's worth, you might be interested in knowing that when he asked us to make this trip and come here and speak with you, I asked him how he wanted us to regard you, talk to you with regards to his activities, and he did implore us to be completely open and honest.
That is good. So at least he's not trying to hide anything. I think it's just adolescence that's keeping me ill-informed. So that's a step in the right direction, I suppose. Basically, at this point, she will take some time to talk to you all about some of his dealings in the past. We can actually roleplay through if you'd like, if there's something specific you want to say. Or you can just basically say that you retell everything you guys know. Honestly, or...
Doesn't matter.
I mean, that's what I got. I don't really have anything specific to mention.
And Saxon, you're gonna hear back in your head, I just want to be told.
Hey, Matt.
And you could tell in that there is a air of That was more of a dare.
Yeah, and
Okay.
oh, I have to roll an insight check on this. He's smart, but I don't know if he's that smart. Does she look? Does she sound like she's catching on to exactly what he just told her?
Yes. You're pretty sure of it.
Does she seem satisfied?
Well, she did dare you. So almost. AKA, she's asking for you to prove what you just said.
Okay.
Get down on your knees and show her you love her.
I mean, you know.
Is her call me dad? After talking about her son for a little while, she'll... As I said, I want to bless you all with some thing to help you in protection. Each of you have a unique trait, aspect about yourselves. And I'm assuming that you'll... Whatever you're doing, she's good enough with that, but if you follow through with the dare, which I'm sure you will.
I am.
Saxon is not the kind of person to let something like that go, I'm assuming. He's kind of got a little Kothar in him. I have learned over the years how to enhance abilities of people. And it's a boon that I am going to share with you all. She'll just look at you and nod. And you're going to hear in your head, there is a chance more threads, or I will add more threads to your plan. Or to add more threads to your tapestry is actually what she says.
Okay.
I
I'm
need
sorry, guys. I had to whisper that because I can't tell anybody what's happening yet.
Cheater.
I know.
Damn.
I want you all to decide amongst yourselves which aspect of these 4 things you each exemplify the most.
Actually, Matt, I don't want to cut you off, and I apologize, but during the interactions between the voices in the head, can I perceptively notice a focus of concentration back and forth between the two?
Are you wearing the earring?
Yeah.
Is he wearing the earring already, Saxon?
I gave it to him on the
Okay.
boat.
You can tell that he is actively keeping you out of the conversation, yes.
Okay.
It's like you hear static whenever they're talking.
Right. Yeah, I figured that, but I wanted to clarify whether or not Gruk was aware of the conversation taking place.
Okay. Yeah, you can't hear it, but you can hear static. You can hear it's happening.
Fair enough.
But you can't hear what's being said because he is actively blocking you from it. I mean, it's all based off his ability. If he doesn't actively block you from it, you hear everything that's being said to anybody.
Right. But then I do want to point out that...
and what's being said back.
Me saying cheater is in character.
Oh, okay.
To Saxon through the earring.
Out loud, you were expecting any different?
With a smile, no.
Alright, so, amongst yourselves, decide which one of you exemplify one of these traits the most. And I will bless the boon upon each of you. Please understand, this is specifically giving you this to watch over and protect my son. Fail to do these things, and, well, you've heard hell hath no fury. Try adding dragon to that mix.
Yeah, still not scared.
Give me a wisdom save. Actually, all of you, since he had to go and say that.
All of us.
Look at us all fucked, man.
This is.
Let's see.
Oh, shit.
I was about to try and argue for advantage, but nah.
What'd you roll?
A nat 20.
Nice. Okay, so Thorn, Gruck, and Saxon, you guys can feel that she is making a threat for sure. You could feel some of her draconic power actually pouring out of her. You're able to stand in the face of fear, though, with this. Mostly because you guys have been talking to her a little while and you've gotten used to her. Vol, who was doubting and saying it wasn't too scary, apparently something in his soul is just traumatized by this, as you just see her as one of the most frightening presences you have ever seen. Yeah, that was a bad roll, dude, for you.
Yeah, I know. That's not initiated.
So, you are frightened of her, for sure. You can't move closer to her, and, yeah. So you have the frightened effect of her right now. Everybody else is fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Thorn made the exact DC.
Yes.
So...
Can I sense that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, you can tell, and you can tell, actually, that if you were less of a man, no offense, Will, you would have been frightened. Like, most people would be terrified of this.
Okay. I'm not intimidating, or I'm not attempting to intimidate when I say this. Okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to step in between her and Vol,
Okay.
take a step towards her so that she knows the spell hasn't affected me. Not in her face, but just towards her.
Okay.
I'm going to say, ask us for a favor, realize he's an idiot, and please don't threaten my friends.
She's gonna smile at you and say, "Oh, she's not. She's not gonna say anything. She's just gonna smile at you." And let's see. There is a difference between a threat and a promise. But I doubt you will fail. I see good things for your futures. That's why I'm blessing you with these boons. Being somebody that is that uses fear as a tactic, you understand.
Oh, I am completely aware, and I'm telling... If she's halfway intelligent, she's realizing that I'm telling her that these guys are off limits, just like her kid is.
Yeah.
That's
Although if
and
you
I'm
guys
not
get her
being
killed,
thre-
yeah, if you
Huh?
get her son killed though, like that's what she's saying. Like if her son dies on your watch, there is nothing on heaven or earth that's going to protect you. Just like if she just needlessly killed one of your friends, there's probably nothing on heaven or earth that will protect her.
And I'm,
Other than
look,
her
I'm trying
being
to make that clear to
high-level
her
dragon.
right now without being like, I understand her, I want her to understand me, and I'm purposefully not, and she should be smart enough to tell this, I'm not being intimidating when I say, like, I'm not trying to be intimidating. I'm saying, I get you, knock it off.
Yeah. Ugh. Alright, so, under these 4 things, let me know which one of you each exemplify the particular trait. Wisdom, knowledge, strength, and influence.
Dibs on influence.
And would I be wisdom or knowledge?
I'd like to argue with Saxon, but that's just not going to happen.
Strength.
Hmm?
Strength.
I'd say that's fair.
That leaves knowledge and wisdom between you two.
Oh, what do you think, Thorn?
I'd probably do wisdom.
Very
Can
well.
I make a OOC suggestion based off of the characters I've been seeing playing?
Yeah.
I would give wisdom to Gruck and knowledge to Thorn. Because he seems to always have the ability to, like, get into places and gather knowledge. And wisdom to me sounds like it's, you know, the ability to choose the correct course, and Gruck seems to try to be the moral center. That's an OOC argument, by the way. Saxon's not going to say anything.
Now you guys can decide honestly. Like OOC, you can decide if that's what you want to do or not.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I don't know if I'm very good at playing it, but Gruck is supposed to be an intelligent character.
But he is also a wise character too.
Yeah, Gruck strikes me as a very wise character, and Thorn strikes me as the kind of character who would be an expert at intelligence gathering.
True.
Alright. She walks over to you, and part of her body actually transforms from the fine human form that she's in right now. By the way, I forgot to mention her hair and her eyes are both like crystal blue. But her hand transforms into a dragon claw, which is about twice the size of her normal hand. You can tell she's trying to keep it smaller, and she's just going to touch the tip of her claw to each one of your foreheads. And when she does, you'll feel like your vision goes blurry for a moment, and you can feel a pouring of knowledge into you very quickly as you guys are granted these boons. Alright, get ready to write things down.
Yeah.
I was waiting until you were doing something like that, just specifically. You know, that's what I'm doing for you, Robert, there. And actually, Robert, you're first, too.
Shit. Hold on.